Damn, what was it? Ooh, I bumped my mic. Girl, I can't think. Okay, well, hold on. There's something else I want to say. Hello, beautiful people. It is so nice to see you today. It is presently 10 a.m. for me. I am sorry if I sound a little bit hoarse. I had a late night last night dancing with one of my girlfriends, so I'm currently suffering the consequences of that. But the video must go out. So I was cleaning out my studio space and I found a very special piece of my personal history, which is the first sketchbook I ever had. This was my high school sketchbook and a lot has changed for me since high school. It's been several years since I looked at this sketchbook, so I don't exactly know what's in here, but I'm excited to see, so let's get into it. All right, if I remember right, I got this in maybe 2010, not to age myself, but I had to get a sketchbook for my senior year art class, and I had never used a sketchbook before. But yeah, let's get in here and see what's in this sketchbook. Oh my gosh, you can see I made a nice little DIY folder to keep everything. I think this is the first self-portrait I ever did. We have a little bit of fisheye going on, but I think the rendering is okay. So that's cute. All right, looks like I did a little bit of an observational sketch of my hand. It's honestly, why is that so good? Oh my God. I feel like that's better than what I do now. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I remember what this was. I was drawing a perfume, or I guess cologne ad in a magazine, and I thought the lighting and skin texture was really nice. So this was my attempt at that. You can definitely see, like, I don't really have an understanding of the underlying structures underneath the skin because it's just sort of like round and amorphous, but I'm doing my best to describe what I'm seeing with shading. So honestly, pretty good foundation. I think this was probably sketching from imagination. I kind of like how wrinkly everything is down here, but I was definitely putting that graphite mechanical pencil to work back then. And what is this? Ooh, okay. There's a few points where there's names that I'm gonna censor, but I think this was me doing a self-portrait of myself, and hopefully I can figure out how to censor that name. Okay, we got an emo girl here. This paper quality is so interesting. You can't feel this, but this is so thin. I think a lot of this stuff was just like scrap sketches that I had from previous notebooks and stuff that I wanted to kind of keep in this collection, I guess, of this year. So I think that's what this whole first folder was. Oh my God. I feel like this is giving, oh my God, what is her name in The Witcher? Gosh, I want to say Nefertiti, but that's definitely not it. If you know the Frangipana? I don't know. What is the character's name in The Witcher? I'm gonna try to put a screenshot, but that's what this is giving to me. So yeah, this was my first sketchbook I ever had. I was drawing a lot from imagination. Oh my God, things are so flat. I definitely was afraid to take values where they needed to be, and I can tell I was trying to figure out how to draw a face. I was probably 17. That is pretty good, I think, for a 17-year-old. Ooh, she's pretty. Wait, I kind of love the variation in line weights. Gosh, look at that nose. She got that good rhinoplasty. Okay. Oh my gosh, American literature. What was this? Oh my God, these poses are so funny to me. Just these like, yeah, that's what I look like too. That is how I look over my shoulder as well. Just drawing a bunch of beautiful girls. We love that. Okay. This is a departure. I don't know what I was feeling here, but it's a lot more grungy. And this, oh my God, I wish I knew what this paper was. You guys, this paper is so thin. It's like tissue paper. Very interesting. Oh! Not me drawing on the back of a standardized test, a Scantron. Okay, I remember this. I was wanting to do some paintings. I had just learned the term duality, and I was very interested in all the ways that duality could be explored. So I think I was thinking about gender roles here, which was very ahead of my time, I think, for like a 16-year-old in 2010. Just saying. Anyways. Ooh, okay. This was lithography. Wow, I'm not even in the actual sketchbook yet. I think this was an art assignment. I need to get into the actual sketchbook. Okay, this was one of my classmates. You can tell by her face she's sick of me because I honestly was not very nice to her, unfortunately. I was bullied a lot in high school, and I think when I had the opportunity to be a little bit like above someone, I definitely picked on them. And I kind of picked on her, even though she was my friend, so if you see this, sorry. Okay, really quick, I am so sorry to interrupt, but I want to do a really quick self-plug. So I am a small artist and I'm just getting started on this whole content creation thing. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. It's really rewarding for me to make connections with people like you. I'm trying to find my footing, find my community. I don't have any kind of sponsorship to plug here. I'm not trying to sell you a product. However, if you want to support a small artist, I make videos on drawing techniques that might be helpful for expanding your visual vocabulary. I do draw with me's and other kinds of miscellaneous art vlogs and art content. So if you want to stick around and see more of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But even just hitting those other buttons for engagement really helps me out. But with that quick little plug, let's get back to the video. Okay, we have a woman smoking a cigarette. She's got a bomb and she's got an alcoholic beverage. Now, I was straight edge at this time. I had never had a sip of alcohol or smoke a cigarette or touched anything, so I wonder if this was supposed to be symbolism about like the destructive nature of these types of vices. I'm not sure. Oh, I really like this pose. I wonder if I was looking at a reference for this. It looks like I was drawing what I thought, woman legs were and man legs were. I think this was going back to that duality thing I was doing. More doodling from imagination. I feel like everyone at some point in their life was drawing eyes constantly, so that's what I was doing here. Oh, I used to live on a lake, so I think maybe that is imagining summer coming. These definitely look like sort of despondent doodles trying to kill time. Oh my gosh. iPod shuffle. iPod shuffle. Yeah, I remember I used to get in trouble because I would always have my iPod, my headphones in, and my parents would say that I was like rotting my brain. They would try to take it away from me and I would throw like the biggest fights and say that I depended on it basically to not be depressed. I was a little bit dramatic. Huh. Interesting. I see a train, I see a highway, moon, sun, moon. I wonder again if this was kind of what my project about like duality. I'm not really sure about that. I definitely drew a lot of bad posture. I don't know if I was trying to show that the shoulder's coming out this way. Definitely lacked kind of an understanding of anatomy, I can tell, but I was trying to figure it out. And again, not a bad place for a high school student. More doodles. I don't really have much to say about this page, although I love this thing. Okay. Ooh, dreamy. Oh my gosh, I remember this kind of 8 on DeviantArt. I used to upload all my little sketches on DeviantArt, and this one did pretty well if I remember right, and I felt very proud of that. Ooh, okay, this was one of my first ever, besides the one up here, I think this was one of my first ever self-portraits, like real ones. And I remember smashing my face against a glass table to kind of get this reflection and using a digital camera to take the photo. And then I was such a poser. I remember telling people that I drew this from observation, like not from a photo. The truth will set you free, as they say. Okay, experimenting with markers. I remember getting Crayola markers and just seeing how I could blend with them. Not bad. Oh, I like it on the back side. Why do I like it more back here? That is so interesting. Here we have, I have a dream in my head. I'm pretty sure that was Bright Eyes lyrics. I was really obsessed with Connor Oberst and Bright Eyes when I was in high school. Although again, when you look at the hand, there's something really funky going on. I don't know, everything's just kind of like unaligned. I definitely did not understand how to approach drawing a hand. And hands are so difficult. I still don't always get it right. Ooh! Okay, she was feeling emo. She was going through something here. Fight off your demons, fight off. Interesting. There was something dark-sided happening here. I don't know if you ever look back on like angsty old sketches and it makes you feel yucky. This kind of makes me feel yucky. I'm like, oh, what was I going through? I have no idea. Okay, we're experimenting with colors. Interesting. And I can tell that I was sketching with, oh my god, this is like a red ballpoint pen, I can tell. I still love sketching with red ballpoint pens. Actually, I use this pink one now. But I feel like that's where this all came from. Oh my gosh. I just made a video on automatic drawing. I'm like, was I doing automatic drawing and I didn't even know it? That's kind of what this looks like to me. Oh my gosh! Nudity, indecency. You know, I remember this was my first time ever drawing a nude figure. I drew it from imagination because I felt ashamed if I tried to look up a nude reference. And I remember my classmates being like, oh my god, that's so salacious. You're drawing a naked woman? Wow, the scandal. But honestly, that booty, look at that. I did a good job with that. Oh, yeah, it's a hand. I see wind, I see storms, I'm not sure what I was thinking of, but honestly pretty decently rendered here, or like the understanding of the hand is getting better. And Bloody Mary. I do remember putting this on DeviantArt, again, calling it Bloody Mary, and I thought I was really breaking the mold by putting a gray figure on a colorful background. Really be into drawing sort of the orbital bones of the eyes and the cheekbones in this really defined way that look kind of funny. They look like there's something protruding out of the skin, and for some reason I thought they always needed like a highlight. Oh my god, angsty! We were being angsty again. I didn't even smoke cigarettes. Why was I drawing this? That is so funny. Wow. I was going through something here, you guys. There was sadness occurring here. Not sure. And then I was doing some automatic drawing, apparently. I'm seeing like a cityscape, some kind of sad lights. I mean, there's some cool ideas going here. These look like roots of a tree. I think I was just really doodling. I see a man in a sombrero. I'm not sure what I was drawing here. I'm actually questioning this. I'm like, what was I going for? Anyways, okay, this looks like it was maybe some sort of series. I'm seeing horizontal stripes, vertical stripes, orange, yellow, blue, complementary, pink, red, green, another complement. I don't know if this was my thing about duality, you guys. I learned that word, duality, and I would say it constantly. Like, I thought I was so smart for learning that word. Another word is polemically opposed, which has a similar meaning. But I thought those were like my favorite words to plug. Oh, I kind of like these like cat eyes. Very stylized eyes, very cartoony, but I love the strands of hair and the eyebrows and just how kind of poppy these eyes are, and she was repping that Crayola marker. Okay, this is when I started to get into drawing celebrities. And I wanted to work on my realism, so I would look up typically female celebrities that I just thought were very beautiful. Now, y'all, I am a trans woman and I was not out in high school, so I was a lot of people would see me drawing these and be like, "Ooh, you like those ladies, huh? Yeah, you like those ladies." And I'm like, yeah, I love those ladies. It's a confusing time, but here is, what is her name? Mia Yakovich? I don't know what her last name is, I'm sorry. She's in Resident Evil, she's very beautiful, she's very glamorous, obviously. Clearly, I was obsessed with drawing her because I thought she was so beautiful and sexually arousing to me, right? Kate Winslet. You know, what teenage boy is not drawing Kate Winslet out of lust? Definitely like some skewing of proportions. I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but it's really important for drawing to go general to specific. And this is kind of an example on why that's important. I know I got so into these eyes and then this eye and, you know, would just be working area to area. And then you step away and it's all kind of distorted and skewed and it doesn't look like Kate Winslet's. Yeah, if I would have just like blocked out all these areas first and then got in with the detail once the proportions looked correctly, it would have looked a lot better. But you live and you learn. Oh, this was one of my high school girlfriends. Like I said, I was trying to do what I thought a teenage boy was supposed to do. So I had a few girlfriends in high school, but I was not I was not very romantic with them. I would actually avoid them because I was sort of just dating them because I thought I was supposed to. And that was not very nice to them. But I did draw her. Hope you're doing well out there. Sorry for if I was your first boyfriend. I'm so sorry. Oh, this was someone who, she's like, this was someone who was popular on MySpace. An artist. I think it was like, oh, here it is. A Fine Frenzy. They had some song about an apple or something, but I just thought she was very beautiful and gorgeous. Oh, this is that famous, there's a famous photo. I believe it's of an Iranian child, and she has gorgeous, bright green eyes. It was like a National Geographic photo or something. I'll look up the details and put them somewhere to confirm, but that's what I was drawing. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. Here we have Megan Fox, the one and only. Again, was so clearly so attracted to beautiful women that I just could not stop drawing them. But she is fierce. Very distorted, but she is fierce. Oh my god. Yes. The one and only Angelina Jolie, everyone. Okay, really like what I did with this hair up here, but again, very, very distorted. I think I must have been overcome with lust, and I just could not draw it correctly. Oh my god, I'm such a liar. I put speed sketch 6 minutes, Jack Nicholson. I definitely did not do this in 6 minutes. I'm such a poser. I remember this because I lied. I put this on DeviantArt and I was like, 6 minute speed sketch. And everyone was like, oh my god, how'd you do that in 6 minutes? And I was like, I don't know, I just did it. It was a total lie. Like, I did not draw this in 6 minutes. It was probably like 15 minutes or so, but definitely was not 6 minutes. Ugh. Now this looks like it must have been a watercolor. Maybe a Crayola watercolor palette because of the drips and everything. This was back in the day, like drip art was all the rage. I feel like it still is in some ways, but if you looked on DeviantArt, the drip art was everywhere, honey. Okay, I clearly was not feeling this. I was maybe feeling emo and then the feeling dissipated. I'm not sure, but interesting. Oh, I had a teacher who wanted help. He was self-publishing a book, and it was about a Klein bottle boy. And the Klein bottle is a mathematical paradox where it's this theoretical object that is I think it's supposed to be, it's like a 3-dimensional object that only has 2 dimensions. So it's inside as it's outside. Listen, it's more confusing than I can understand. So yeah. Okay, really into mirrors. Honestly, the mirror motif has stayed with me. I still love drawing mirrors. Oh my god, this was a beautiful French foreign exchange student who would hang out with me and my friends for the year she was here. This was me drawing her, and I drew a lot. Back at this time, I was like drawing a lot with erasers in the hair. So, anyways. Oh, that's a cute idea. She's getting surreal here. Cute. And I think this is just about it. Some last ballpoint pen doodles. Oh, wait. This is a nice surprise. Wow, I must have been trying to... I think I was kind of inspired by pop art here. But I really love the line work here. Well, anyways, y'all. Looks like that's just about it. Thank you so much for following along as I went down memory lane with this sketchbook. Looking at those drawings, it really transported me to a different time in my life, and I know high school is a strange time for many of us, but I am just so glad to be where I am now and kind of out of that strange headspace I was in while I was making some of these drawings. But this sketchbook was a very pivotal moment for me. It kind of marked the beginning of me really thinking about who I am as an artist and trying to find my voice. So it was interesting for me to see some of the predecessors of some of my current day techniques blooming in this sketchbook. So if you have any old sketchbooks, maybe pull them out of your storage, revisit them. I feel like it can be a very reflective experience. But with all that being said, thank you so much again for watching. If you made it this far in the video, again, consider subscribing, hitting those other buttons for engagement. It really helps out a small little artist like me. And thank you so much for being here. But until next time, that is all for now. Mwah.